shortstop, Wilson. Now the rest of the Stallions. Number 4, Jim Wilson. Number 6, Steve Thompson. Number 2, Tyler Jarrett. Number 11, Brad Swartz. And number 10, Trey Swartz. Now the starting lineup for the Willington Patriots, coached by Charlie Assey and assistant coach Doug Culler. Playing shortstop, a junior, number 11 from Orangeburg, South Carolina, Tristan Davis. Playing first base, a junior from Orangeburg, South Carolina, number 10, Jack Bryant. Catching, a senior, number 7 from Chicago, Illinois, Doug Arsenault. Playing center field, a junior, number 14 from St. Charles, Illinois, Ned Dress. Pitching, a senior, number 18 from Columbia, South Carolina, Mike Dennis. Playing third base, a senior, number 3 from Orangeburg, South Carolina, Jeffrey Watford. Playing second, a junior, number 16 from Aiken, South Carolina, Ty Hagler. Playing left field, a junior, number 9 from Orangeburg, South Carolina, David Jeffcoat. Batting ninth for the Patriots will be number 21, Will Bryant. Playing right field, a senior, number 1 from Columbia, South Carolina, Jack Crook. Now the rest of the Patriots. Number 12, Jay Shrimp. Number 6, Kevin Judy. Number 8, Wayne Jackson. Number 2, Nico Generis. Number 13, Michael Carter. Number 20, George Garrett. The umpires for tonight's game will be behind the plate, Robert Burdick. And the bases will be Mr. Dan Plunkett and the Honorable Teddy Weeks. Will you please stand for the playing of the national anthem?
Behind you all the way. Think first, first.
Championship game as the Willington Patriots gathered around their coach Charlie Assey down the third base side, and the visiting Stallions from Williamsburg out of Kingstree also gathered around their coach Makey Rankin down on the first base side. This is it. This will wrap up the 3A baseball season here in South Carolina, but not wrap up baseball because Calhoun Academy, just up the road in St. Matthews, they're involved in a state playoff series that begins on Monday.
Yes, they'll be playing Lawrence Manning. They'll be playing in St. Matthews, and then that series will go over to Lawrence Manning in Manning on Wednesday. Lawrence Manning has just a tremendous ball club, Marianne. I saw him earlier right here at Willington Field in this year, and they have just a tremendous ball club. For a 2A school, baseball-wise, they can play with any 3A school in the state.
Got a young man named Brian Beetson, who is some kind of pitcher that Mark Lyon, who's the head baseball coach up at Wofford College, told me just a little while ago that he very much would like to have, along with the young man on the mound right now for Willington Academy, and that is Mike Dennis.
Well, that is true. I think that he wants both of these ball players, but Mr. Beetson is not the only good ball player over at Lawrence Manning. They have a good team all around, and they have a team that can hit. They have a team, Tommy Timmerman has those boys going to where, you know, they'll come out and they'll really challenge you. They believe they can beat you, and they come out and they will do it.
The first three batters up for Williamsburg here in tonight's state championship ball game. It'll be Craig Brown, the center fielder, Walt Williamson, the shortstop, and then David Holliday, the catcher, to face Mike Dennis, a hard-throwing left-hander, who is 13-0 on the year. Defensively for Willington tonight in the outfield, David Jeffcoat is in left. Ned Dress in center. Jack Crook is around and right. The infield has Jeffrey Watford at third, Tristan Davis at short, Ty Hagler at second, Jack Bryant at first, Doug Arsenault behind the plate. As we said, Mike Dennis, the senior left-hander, 13-0 on the year, on the mound tonight. Mike has given up no more than 1 earned run or 3 hits in any start that he has had this year. The umpires for tonight's ball game, we're working with 3 umpires down the third base side. As Teddy Weeks, down at first is Danny Plunkett, and the man behind the plate is Robert Furtick. And you're ready for baseball as Craig Brown comes to the plate. Brown is 2 for 6 thus far in the series. He's had a hit in each ball game. Pretty good athletes down there, and as you said, the Brooks, most of them will be back again next year and the year after that.
Dinky Rankin really has something to look forward to for his sports at Williamsburg Academy, and I think probably you'll see everybody dreading to play Williamsburg and next year and maybe the following year, because they'll really be a tough teams athletically. I think not only baseball, I think they'll be tough in football, but I really don't know what other kind of basketball program they have, but I really think they'll be tough in football and basketball. I mean, baseball.
No question about that. We're ready to go. Dennis rocks. First pitch of the game. Ball driven out into center field. Ned Dress, half dozen steps to his left, and there's one away. 1 pitch and 1 out. And Brooks, if Dinky Rankin hopes to tire Mike Dennis, he'll never do it if the guys all swing at the first pitch.
Well, he went up there with the intention of hitting the baseball if it was over the plate, and he brought the fastball in, got it up just a little bit. I'm sure that Mike Dennis would like to see to get that fastball down just a little bit from where he did on that pitch.
Here's Walt Williamson, the shortstop, breaking pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. 300 feet down the foul lines here. The alleys go forever. They're probably 400-plus feet to the alleys because they're the corner of the football field. It's 350 to dead away center field. Outside corner call, strike 2, 0-2. The breeze here tonight, just as it was on Monday night, blowing in earlier before the rain. The wind was going out. But tonight it is blowing back in from the flag out in left field. 0-2 delivery. Ball driven out towards second base. Ty Hagler. He'll flip it to Bryant, and they're 2 gone. Quickly, 2 up and 2 down at the Williamsburg first, and here is David Holliday, the Stallion catcher. Somebody said 19 to go. You know, it's kind of hard to think that you can melt a whole season down to 7 innings, just 21 outs. That's the entire baseball season. Right,
well, we could very easily melt it down to 1 inning in this ball game.
Pretty good crowd here tonight. Standing room again down each side, down the third base side, which is where Willington, the Willington dugout is, and down the first base side, which is where the Williamsburg dugout is. Breaking ball shot down toward Watford at third. 1 giant hop. The long throw. No, sir, not in time. David Holliday legs it out, an infield single. Just a high chopper then, not really much Watford could do except to wait until it came down. And when it finally got down, Holliday had a base hit. That's hit number 1 in the ball game.
In the stretch then, Bryant's foot came off the bag down at first base, trying to stretch it out just a little bit too much, and he pulled that foot off. Runner would have been safe anyway.
Here is Lloyd C. Morris, who's playing first base tonight, the power hitter on this ball club. Strike 1 call, fastball, caught the knees on the outside corner, 0-1. We are just underway here at Patriot Field. Rain-threatening skies, 3A state championship for baseball for independent schools in the state of South Carolina. The stretch by Dennis. He'll check first, brings it in, and ball is fouled out of play for strike 2. 0-2 now on Lloyd Morris. Brooks, the good thing is that Dennis is managing to stay ahead of the batters. First batter swung at the first pitch and popped out. Next batter went down in 3 pitches. And then Holliday swung at the first pitch, chopped it into the dirt, and legged it out. So Mike really has not wasted any pitches out there yet.
He's been around the plate.
0-2 the count as Mike looks in at Doug Arsenault. The outfield pretty much straight away for the power-hitting Lloyd C. Morris. Timeout is called as Morris got tired of waiting. A token lead at first base by Holliday, who now will walk back to the bag. The stretch by Mike. The 0-2 pitch. Ball driven out toward Hagler at second. Off of Hagler's glove into center field, and that is going to be an error.
Routine play that time for Ty Hagler. The ball hit his glove, and he was really looking at second base before he fielded the ball, and that's the reason It bounced off his glove and went out into right center field because he looked at second base before he got the ball in the glove.
Very simple play then, with 2 away. Could have gone to second or first, and Ty simply took his eye off the ball, as Brooks said. Hit his glove and caromed into center field. Here is Richard Morris, the second baseman. 2 away, 2 runners on, so Williamsburg poses the first threat of the night. Breaking pitch misses. That's a fastball. I'm sorry, tailed away. And the Dennis fastball will tail away from the right-handed hitter. It will run in or tail into the left-handed batters. 1-0 the count. Ball hit into right field. Fly ball. Jack Crook coming in. Jack is there, and the inning is over. So for Williamsburg, here in the first, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the first. Williamsburg, nothing. Willington coming to bat. You're listening to high school baseball on WDIX. At field, and for Willington, it'll be Tristan Davis, the shortstop, Jack Bryant, the first baseman, and Doug Arsenault, the catcher. Brooks, perhaps that error committed by Hagler just then could have been a little bit of the playoff jitters.
I think probably so, Marion. He was just in a little bit of a hurry. It's not, Ty is a pretty good defensive ball player. I remember Ty played Dixie Youth Baseball for me. I think probably he's one of the last kids around that I coached other than Ren Sharperson over at OW, and really can't think of any more right at the moment that is still playing. But Ty, he's a good defensive ball player.
Well, we've told you before what Charlie Assey said about Ty. Said one of the real pleasant surprises of the 1986 baseball season was Hagler. Tristan Davis. He and Gene Hall over in Kingstree on Wednesday played kind of a cat-and-mouse waiting game. Tristan refused to go into the batter's box until Hall went to the mound because Hall wasted a little time. And I see Tristan now standing off to the side of the batter's box. He's 20 feet out of the batter's box as Gene Hall is walking around the pitcher's mound. Defensively, Jim Wilson is in left field, Craig Brown in center, Jeff Canty around in right for Williamsburg, Robbie McElveen at third, Walt Williamson at short, Richard Morris at second, Lloyd Morris at first, and David Holliday is behind the plate. The corners are on the grass. Here's the first pitch from Hall, low for ball 1. Hall really hummed the baseball on Wednesday. Really moved it around well. Low, 2-0 the count. Dinky Rankin beginning to pace already over in front of that dugout. Rankin knows the pressure. Charlie has won a state championship in baseball before, has he not, down at Mims?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He's been down that road before, so he knows what it's like.
Strike 1 call, the inside corner, 2-1 to count now. And Tristan Davis, a leadoff batter here for Willington. But he's not won one at Willington, and I think he'd really like to go out. All these young men would like to go out with a state championship. Inside, 3-1 to count.
If a team has a little bit more incentive than the other, I think probably it'd be for the Willington Ball Club, knowing that this is the last ball game as a Willington Patriot. I think probably that would have to give this ball club a little more incentive.
Ball 4 on the outside corner, one not even close. So, Brooks, if you judge by the first man and solely by the first man, you have to say that Gene Hall certainly is not as sharp today as he was on Wednesday.
No, he's not. He didn't really have all. I didn't think he had all that good of control, even though he didn't walk very many. I think he only walked 4, and maybe one of those was intentional. But I didn't think he really had that good of control. Now they're switching the outfielders once again with left and right field. They did that on Wednesday, and they won the ball game, so they're not going to change.
Here is Jack Bryant, the Willington first baseman. And Brooks, you made a point before the ball game. You said that Hall was just wild enough to be effective on Wednesday, and I think you may be right. Morris trying to hold Davis at first, and there is a throw over by Gene Hall. If I had to make a guess right now, Brooks, I'd say Gene Hall has a little arm problem. Watch him a little bit.
He might be just a little bit stiff. You know, he threw like that Wednesday. And
inside, ball 1. But his control is definitely not what it was on Wednesday in the early going. McElveen, the Williamsburg third baseman, 3 steps in on the grass. The outfield pretty much straight away. Another move to first base. Tristan standing on the bag.
I think Hall's control is a variation of his delivery. Matter of fact, he'll open up one time, and he doesn't have the same delivery. Oh, there's a pop-up on the infield.
Pop-up on the infield. Lloyd C. Morris at first base will put the squeeze on it, and there's one away. Here's Doug Arsenault, the catcher, young man who, believe it or not, has been the pitcher of record in all 4 losses for Willington, and pitched well enough on Wednesday to win. He just could not get but 1 run and 3 hits produced by his offense.
Just a hard-luck pitcher in that game the other day. He did. He pitched very well. Matter of fact, I thought he pitched a better game than Hall pitched, but Hall came out the winner.
Another move to first base, and again, Tristan Davis back in plenty of time.
Hall has really not shown a good move at all over to first base in this game. It may be that the dirt out on the mound may be a little bit soft for him.
Upstairs, 1-0 the count. Rankin again moving around his outfielders. He's now telling Jeff Wilson to back up in right field. Brown, the center fielder, playing for the most part straight away, maybe a little bit toward the third base side of second. Swing and a miss. Strike one, I'm sorry. Evens the count at 1.
The fastball was up just a little bit above the waist that time, and this is the pitch that it has really been effective for him.
You know, Charlie was kind of disappointed. He thought his ball club did a good job in helping Gene Hall look good on Wednesday, and thought that their pitch selection to swing at lacked a little bit. A 1-1 pitch to Doug, hit and run, shot
to the third baseman.
Right, boom, to the third baseman, and the third baseman will all the way across and step on the bag, and a double play will end the inning.
Hit and run right there cost him. The runner was going on the pitch, and he was all the way down to second base, and I don't think he ever saw third baseman
McElveen come up with the ball. No, he did not. So for Willington in the first, no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on after 1. Williamsburg, nothing in Willington, nothing. You're listening to high school baseball at WDIX. Andy, their right fielder, Gene Hall, the pitcher, and then Robbie McElveen, the third baseman, who made that outstanding play to end the Willington first. Just a line drive off the bat of Doug Arsenault. McElveen took the ball. Davis left at the crack of the bat. As a matter of fact, Willington was playing hit and run, and as Brooks noted, maybe they got burned a little bit there, and then McElveen took the baseball and ran it all the way across the mound and stepped on first for an unassisted double play, rather than taking the chance of throwing the baseball. I believe even though if they had not been playing hit and run, they would have doubled up Davis because the way the ball was hit.
Davis didn't see the ball.
No, so sharp. Here is Canty, tall, slender young man, bats from the right side as Mike Dennis wheels it in, swing and a miss at a Dennis curveball. 0-1 to count.
Good breaking ball by Dennis that time. Could get it down just a little bit more, but still a good breaking ball.
Time is called by Canty as he banks out of the batter's box. More folks still coming in here. We're just game about 20 minutes, actually about 18 minutes old right now. We've got folks standing down both foul lines.
Hope somebody brought some umbrellas.
Foul back for strike 2. I brought one, but it's in the car up by the bus shed on the other side, back beyond the left field wall. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out and nobody on here in the top of the second inning, 3A state championship game. Series tied at 1 apiece. It all boils down to this. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 1 in the ball game for Mike Dennis, and that'll bring up Gene Hall, the pitcher for Williamsburg.
You know, if Mike Dennis would come up with a changeup to go along with the fastball and the breaking ball that he has, he could really be much more effective. He does not have a changeup, and it's something I'm sure that when he gets into college, he'll come up with.
Got a pretty good breaking ball as he dropped that one across the plate then. Had Gene Hall fooled on no ball, 1 strike count. Mike looking in at Doug Arsenault. Ball driven foul out of play down the first base side. Brooks saw some lightning back in the southwest from here.
Yeah, you kind of look back behind us, and I don't know, maybe brewing. We really need the rain, I'll tell you that.
Yes, we do.
Hard to remember the last time it rained around here.
0-2 pitch, and excuse me, foul ball out of play to the right side. The last time that there was enough rain to really do any good. That's right. There's some rumblings back there, huh? Yes, definitely. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Chopper down toward Jack Bryant at first on a couple of big hops. Jack will step on the bag, and they're 2 gone. 2 up and 2 down in the second as the second begins just like the first did. And here is Robbie McElveen, the third baseman, and here is our first and only allotted offensive timeout of this inning, right?
Supposedly.
Of course, Binky heard us talking about that on Wednesday over at King Street, but he's far enough away today that he can't hear us. 2 gone to McElveen, throws right, obviously he's the third baseman, also swings from the right side. Fouled off. Strike one.
I'm not really sure you'd see that enforced in this game. It's kind of, it is a little too important.
Yeah, I would. It's one of those rules that, unless a coach is really abusing it, I wouldn't think would ever be called anyway. Swing and a miss, strike two. Kind of like driving without a metal tag on your car. Nothing in two for the count. Here's the pitch to McElvain. Foul ball down by first base. Jack Bryant will drift about 20 feet out there and grab it. 3 up and 3 down to the Williamsburg second. We go to the bottom of the second inning. The score remains 0-0. You're listening to high school baseball at WDIX. And for the Willington Patriots, it'll be pitcher Mike Dennis, center fielder Ned Dress, and third baseman Jeffrey Watford. We were noting during that timeout that there in the second inning that Mike Dennis threw nothing but strikes. Not a ball called that inning. He's only had one call now in 2 innings. You know that?
Well, this is the thing that Mike really needs to go. He needs to go out and have a good ball game. And if he's going to be strong in late innings of this ball game, in which there has been times this year that he has lost a little off the velocity in and around the 5th inning, he needs to go out and throw strikes. He needs to throw as few pitches as he can. The first 2 innings, he's done that.
Well, I see that Ned Dress will move up to the 4th place tonight. My error. There's been a change. So Dress, the center fielder, will bat 4th, and Dennis is going to bat 5th. Let me quickly change all of that. Dress had the big home run on Wednesday over in King Street. The only run the Patriots got in a 2-1 loss. Strike one call outside corner. McElvain, the Stallion third baseman, 2 steps in on the grass, the outfield pretty much straight away. Ball hit right back up the middle, base hit, and Gene Hall tried that little let-up that worked for him well the other day, but it didn't work so hot tonight.
That time, I believe Ned was really looking for that little change-up or the Ephus pitch or whatever you might call it. It wouldn't break a pane of glass. Maybe somewhat kin to a knuckleball also, because it had very little rotation on the ball. And Dress just waited on it and just punched it right into center field.
Here is Mike Dennis, the pitcher. 13-0 on the year. Told us tonight that he would make a decision by June 1st as to where he was going to school.
I think he will, and you know, that's not a bad decision, Mary, and that way when he gets into Legion season, he doesn't have coaches bothering or the pressure to perform well, and if he can get that pressure off of him, he'll, you know, it will really help him in his Legion season. I think he's already decided, really.
I do, too. Inside 1-0 to count. I said, well, maybe you'll have a good Legion season. He said, I don't want to have to worry about that. He's right. Very smart young man. Moved to first base. He has talked to Baptist College, I think, has he not? He's talked to Wofford and Francis Mary and Winthrop. I'm sorry, Winthrop and Wofford. And I think out of those two, probably Wofford has the inside shot.
Well, that's my guess, but you know, it's hard to say how kids think today.
There goes Dress down, and Dress will be out at second base.
Coach Charlie Assey didn't think too much of that call down at second base, but
well, it's close, and where we're sitting, it's really hard. We're at ground level. It looked as though Ned may have slid in under the tag, but he is out. A 2-6 putout. Good throw by David Holliday. 1 away now, and a 2-ball, no-strike count on Mike Dennis.
The call at second base probably is the most missed call in baseball, and I'm talking about pros also. I'm not talking about anybody. There's a pop-up right back over our head, but it's going to miss us. You know,
play 2-1 to count.
As the call at second base, it's a very difficult call to make because everybody has got better position than the umpire. Matter of fact, if one's playing, that's true. It's really true. The coach down at third base or the coach at first base, they always have better position than the umpire, and there's no way the umpire can get good position all the time.
2-1 to count. As I look around, a lot of folks here. Fred Stabler, the football coach over at Wade Hampton this past year, is here. Outside, 3-1, Thad Ott, the coach up at Calhoun, is also here tonight. And as I look around, trying to catch folks who are here with other than Willington ties, other than Willington parents and supporters. 3-1 pitch. Pop up. Out into center field. Craig Brown going hard to his right. Now it'll be Jim Wilson in left field, and Wilson will drop the baseball. It'll be a two-base error as Dennis slides in at second.
What should have been a routine out that time, and it's hard to believe that he missed that ball. I think he was maybe heard footsteps coming up behind him and lost his concentration on the ball somewhat, and it hit the glove and just bounced out.
Well, I've watched Wilson catch the ball now. This is the third game, and he catches the ball off to the side of his body. Okay? He does that, and I believe that Craig Brown may have scared him. Actually, it was Wilson's ball more than Brown's ball, as it turned out. Wilson muffed it. Man at second base. Now one away, and here's Jeffrey Watford, the third baseman. I see a scout here, I do believe. Is that from North Greenville Junior College over there? NG, I take it that means North Greenville. A pitch to Jeffrey. Outside corner, call, strike one. 0-1 to count. Charlie Assey trying to pump up his ball club a little bit. If anybody can do it, Charlie can. Very active coach. Ball driven into the gap. Oh, knocked down by Walt Williamson. He'll go to third base.
And the player is out of the game right there, Marion, for not sliding. And this is a high school rule this year. He put his elbows out in front of him and tried to knock the ball out of the third baseman McElveen's hand, and that is an automatic ejection.
Well, actually, the runner, who was Jay Shrimp, should have waited. He waited to see whether or not the ball was going to get through. If he had gone at the crack of the bat, he would have made it because the ball almost would have gotten through. What really happened is on the play, he robbed Jeffrey Watford of a base hit because Williamson would have never thrown Watford out going down to first. Two away, and here's Ty Hagler, who has moved up to the 7th position tonight.
Not only was it a poor decision upon Shrimp's part, but it was poor, not good base running that time. A ball hit that hard. The runner at second, the ball hit that hard on the left side. The runner at second should never try to go to third.
Move to first base, runner back in time. I bet next time, Brooks, I won't think that the coach has done the same thing. I'll have to. I didn't think he had changed his lineup, and he's moved it around a couple of times tonight.
Another move over the first base, and Watford goes back head first. There's another move. Watford was only a step and a half off the bag, so back very easily that time.
The Williamsburg pitching staff really aware of the stolen base opportunity. A runner at first, two away. Another move to first base. That time it got close. I'm telling you, that was very, very close over there, and Charlie Assey calls timeout. He wants to have a talk with Jeffrey Watford.
We'll give him some specific instructions now as to what he wants him to do.
One thing is, don't go asleep over at first base. That run that he may produce could be all that scored in this ball game. There are some very dark clouds back to our right, or back to the south of here, moving this way. It's not that we don't want the rain. It's the lightning that we don't like. McElveen again pulled in at third, the outfield straight away. Hagler at the plate. Gene Hall comes set. Hall steps off the rubber. Watford scampers back into first. Tell you what, that's why a ball game drags. We've been playing 30 minutes now, and we've only played an inning and 2/3 because of that. Hall looking in at his catcher Holiday. Hagler's run. Another throw to first base. Jeffrey goes back head first. By the way, you're listening to this 3A state championship baseball game on Central South Carolina sports leader, AM 1150, WDIX, Orangeburg. Hardly any breeze here now at all. The stretch, the pitch to Ty. Outside corner, call, strike one. 0-1. There's a huge crowd up from Williamsburg tonight, just like there was on Monday night.
Williamsburg has a very good following behind their team.
Another move to first. Again, Watford goes back in. We saw that during the football season when they came up to play Willington.
You know, it's kind of unusual in a way for a team to have that type of following.
Swing and a miss, strike two. That time Hall simply blew the fastball by Ty Hagler.
Reminds you of the Orangeburg Legion team several years ago, where Orangeburg would go out on the road, and there would be more people from Orangeburg to the ball game than it would be locals.
Certainly is gratifying if you're the visiting team, but you got to feel bad if you're the home team to have the visitors bring more folks than you do. but it's not unusual. Hello, lightning.
Boy, that's some sharp lightning back over. And looks like it may be coming our way. I'd say it's over on the Eddystone River right now.
Well, I heard
down.
someone say who came in from King Street tonight, coming down 301, they ran into a hailstorm a few miles out of town. Fly ball right side. Coming in right field is now Morris, the second baseman, will take it. Richard Morris finally made the play, and the inning is over. So for Willington in the second. No runs, no hits, one error, one runner left on base after two. Williamsburg, nothing, in Willington, nothing. You're listening to high school baseball on WDIA. It'll be Brian Burgess, the designated hitter, Craig Brown, the center fielder, and Walt Williamson, the shortstop. And we're going to get some rain because you can feel the difference in the temperature. The air is getting cooler. I'm afraid we're going to get more than rain. I'm afraid we're going to get some kind of storm. A lot of lightning back off to our right, down in the south and down in the southwest over there. Some parent made a point that their children were out there with metal bats, and they're absolutely right. That's one bad thing about playing with those aluminum bats. Wood does not draw lightning. Those things might. Burgess had a couple of hits in 2 games so far. He's the designated hitter for one of the outfielders, Jim Wilson. No score. We have played 2 complete frames here at Patriot Field. Burgess steps in. Mike Dennis toes the rubber and turns it loose. Strike one. Swing and a miss. Mike has 1 strikeout so far. Each ball club has a hit. Neither have scored a run. Watford up on the grass at third. The outfield pretty much straight away. 0-1. Fouled off the bat. Strike 2. As a matter of fact, if you look out in center field at Ned Dress, you'll find him cheating over toward the right field side of second base just a little bit. As Coach Assey playing his outfielders in a position that are thinking that the right-handed batters will not be able to get around on Dennis, and they'll be hitting the ball to the opposite field. Lightning is very sharp now. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout number 2 in the ball game for Mike Dennis. Both have been the swinging variety. Back to the top of the Stallion lineup, and Craig Brown, the center fielder. He led off this game by popping out to Ned Dress on 1 pitch. And I think Rankin wants the ball game stopped. The storm is not here yet, but if it continues, as a matter of fact, it is a chance that it may not get here as it's moving down below us, and it is moving away. Side, 1-1 the count. Fair to say, Mike showed no ill effects whatsoever. Hello.
That's a ways off, even though that was some lightning there. That's back across the river.
It's back on the other side of town. Somebody is getting wet. I cannot help but think we had a lot of rain and a lot of hail in that first cloud that moved around Orangeburg. There was hail reported between Orangeburg and Santee around 6:30 this afternoon, or 7 o'clock as a matter of fact. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on center fielder Craig Brown. The pitch from Mike Dennis. Inside and low, 2-1. Let's get it in the right place. We are in the 3rd inning. No score. I'm sorry, Bruce.
The pitcher's coming out here after this long delay. It's got to take a little bit away from them. Matter of fact, probably it'll take a little bit more from their concentration than it will anything else.
Ball driven back up the middle. We'll get into center field for a base hit.
So with 1 out here in the 3rd inning, Williamsburg gets possibly the lead run down at first base. No score in this ball game. A run anytime in this ball game will be extremely important right here. It'll be another big psychological thing as to who can get the first run on the board. It'll put a lot of pressure on the other ball clubs.
That is the 2nd hit of the ball game for Williamsburg, and here is Walt Williamson, the shortstop, who rounded out 2nd to 1st back in the 1st inning. 1 gone and a runner on first as Watford is 2 steps in front of the bag at 3rd. Bryant will hold the runner at 1st. Strike 1 as Williamson attempts to bunt and comes up empty. Right now, Brooks, I think Rankin is playing for 1 run. By the way, the game is rained out. At this point, it would be restarted. It will not be a suspended ball game, but a rain out, and be played from the very 1st inning. Again on Monday now, not tomorrow night. The original plan was tomorrow night, but after some heeing and hawing from both coaches, there's a move to first base, but Brown is back. Rankin refused to bring his players out onto the field, and Assey said, "But we won't play tomorrow night if the game's rained out. We'll make them wait till Monday."
Well, this was a smart move on Coach Assey's part, because that way he gives his ball club a good rest before coming back to the ball game.
Here's another move to first base, but again, Brown is back. He's not off the bag all that far.
I don't think that these Williamsburg runners is going to try and venture very far off of the bag with Dennis on the left-hander on the mound. He has a very good move over to first base, and he'll pick you off in a hurry.
0-1 pitch is upstairs, 1-1 the count. The wind is now blowing out toward left field. Anything hit toward the alley and left or down the line will get a boost from the wind.
On that last pitch from Dennis, Brown had a short lead off, and the ball came to the plate. He was diving back into first base.
1-1 the count. The outfield for Willington shaded toward right for the right-handed batting Williamson. 1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. Again, this is for all the marbles, the 1986 3A baseball championship of the South Carolina Independent Schools Athletic Association will be decided here tonight, weather permitting. No score here in the third. The 2-1 is popped up in foul territory down the third base line. Jeffrey Watford squeezes it for out number 2. Two away, and here is David Holliday, who has the other Williamsburg hit. He hit a high chopper down to third in the first inning. Watford could do nothing but wait for the ball to come down. By the time the ball came down and Watford got it to Bryant at first, Holliday had legged it out for an infield single. 2 gone. Here is David Holliday, the catcher. Again, Charlie Assey considers this young man the best athlete on the squad.
Yes, and he considers him one of the better hitters along with Morris, which is on deck, and he really is afraid of Holliday and Morris.
Holliday chased a bad pitch, pops it up in foul territory, will get out beyond the fence behind first base, strike 1. The rain coming down, just a very light rain right now. Nothing more than a drizzle, but the lightning is gone, and that's what everybody was afraid of. No balls, 1 strike, 2 gone, and the Williamsburg third, as a lot of fans have decided to go out and sit in the football press box out in center field. Maybe we should have gone out there during the...
No, 1 game in center field is enough.
There's a ball driven right back up the middle for a base hit. Dress will take it on 1 hop in center field. And Williamsburg, the ball is thrown away, gets back into the dugout area, and the runners will advance up 90 feet. That's going to be a throwing error on Ned Dress, who tried to pick the runner off at second base and threw it away. So a hit and an error will put runners at second and third for Lloyd C. Morris.
I'm sure that this is one of the ball players that Coach Dingy Rankin would love to have.
Somebody have a problem?
Yeah, they don't like our umbrella. They'll have to move around us because we've got equipment to keep dry.
It's about stopped at any rate. Let me guess where that gentleman was from to begin with. Lloyd C. Morris, the first baseman. Richard Morris batting here. Oh, they just walked Lloyd Morris intentionally. That's what they did. Kind of hard to concentrate when you're getting hassled by the fans. 1-0 to count. Strike 1 call. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Richard Morris didn't like that call too much, but that he's backing away from the pitch on the inside corner from Mike Dennis, and really he backs away from the motion more than he does the ball.
Strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes now. 2 gone. The bases jammed for Richard Morris, the Williamsburg second baseman. Open. Looks in as they call Mike Dennis. Fouled off right side. Count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. The rain continues to fall here at Patriot Field, ever so slightly. Morris rolls up that right sleeve. The pitch. 1 hopper down to Watford at third, goes to first, and the inning is over. So for Williamsburg in the third, no runs. 2 hits, 1 error, 3 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. The score remains Williamsburg, nothing in Willington. 2 pitch, low and away. Ball 1.
Just wasted that pitch. Tried to make him go for a bad ball.
Here's our roster there for Willington. There's a ball driven out into left field. Jim Wilson going back. That's going to be over his head. A deep drive into the corner. Jeffcoat is going to stretch it for 3. David Falls coming around second base. And David will be out at third base.
That was a good call at third base that time. He fell down between second and third. And when he fell down, he really should have gone back to second base. But he tried to come on into third, and that was just a tough break for David.
That was a tough play. That was the second hit in the ball game for Willington. David tumbled as he came, actually as he got almost halfway between second and third, and he got to his feet and tried to make it on into third, but a good throw by Craig Brown to Robbie McElveen erased what could be a threat for Willington here. So it's 1 away, and that's going to bring up Will Bryant, who was a DH tonight.
Tripped over his own feet, tripped over one of the lines out there or something.
Ball 1. I think David was running so hard that he hit maybe some loose dirt out there, and his feet just went out from under him.
That ground, his spots out there is a little bit loose.
1-1 the call. As the 1-0 pitch will catch the outside corner. A ball in the strike. And again, that breeze blowing. Hey, David gave that ball a pretty good ride.
He hit the ball very hard.
2-1 the count. That ball is out of the park in Williamsburg at King Street by about 50 feet, probably. That ball is nearly out of Mermo Field that he hit them.
That ball would have been probably against the wall at Mermo Field.
He really ripped it. Will Bryant, his first time up in this series. Outside, 3-1 the count. First batter that Gene Hall has fallen behind since he fell behind Tristan Davis way back in the first inning.
He's tried to stay outside to Bryant.
Inside, ball 4.
Came back inside that time and did not get it over the corner of the plate.
Second walk given up in the ball game by Gene Hall. Will go back to the top of the batting order. And shortstop Tristan Davis, who walked his only time up tonight. A runner at first. You know, if Jeffco doesn't fall down, it's probably a runner on the corners, either that or as he squeezes in that lead run.
I wouldn't expect him to squeeze with nobody out. If he could get that run around to third now, I think he would.
McElveen on the grass down at third base is Lloyd C. Morris holding Bryant at first. The pitch to Davis. Outside corner, call strike 1. He's put the umbrella down. I think it stopped. Yeah, for the most part it has. Nothing at 1 to count. The pitch outside, 1-1. Hasn't quite stopped, but for the most part, I guess. No score here in the bottom of the third. Little looper out behind shortstop. It will fall in for a base hit. Third hit in the ball game now for Willington. Runners at first and second with 1 away. And here's Jack Bryant, the first baseman, who popped out to Morris, the first baseman, back in the first inning.
Right now, Gene Hall needs to strike out or pop up on the infield.
Jack throws from the right side, swings from the left side. The stretch by Hall. The pitch. Bad bunt popped up, fortunately back on the screen, and nobody can make a play. Willington has not, in my opinion, bunted the ball very well in this series, have they, Brooks?
No, they haven't, and anytime you've got the high fastball, it's a little bit harder to bunt because you've got to get the bat up and get it on top of the ball, and push that ball down on the ground. And the high pitch is a little bit hard to bunt. And let me also state, when you're in this situation like this and you're trying to sacrifice your runner up, you only bunt strikes. You don't bunt that high fastball.
Runners at first and second, 1 away. Again, Bryant squares to bunt. This time he'll take outside and high for ball 1. Evens the count of 1. Willington could very easily be ahead of this ball game 1-0. As we said, bad luck when Jeffco hit that shot to left center and then fell down, rounding second base, and got thrown out going to third. Good bunt. It is McElvain who knocks his pitcher down to throw to first. And they got him. Yes, they did. Boy, that's a bang-bang play down at first base. And Charlie Assey is livid.
It was a good call. He was out by a half a step.
That is a sacrifice, however, for Jack Bryant. That is a 5-3 sack.
I'll have to agree with the call that time. It was a good call, Marion. He got him by a half a step over at first base.
2 runners and scoring position as Will Bryant is now at third base. Tristan Davis is down at second. And here is Doug Arsenault, who hit a line shot down to Robbie McElvain that produced a rather weird double play to end the Willington first. 2 runners in scoring position, and here goes Binky Rankin, and that is his first trip to the mound. Remember, they're swapping Jim Wilson and Jeff Canty again.
Just going to go out and discuss a little strategy, I believe. I don't think he's going to make any pitching change right now. If he decides he does want to, I think you'll see him come back with David Holliday from behind the plate.
Right now, Holliday is the most logical choice. Robert Furtick, the home plate umpire, will go out and tell them that's about it, guys. We got everybody. Yeah.
That's the first visit for him.
The pitcher did not come out, so he gets 2 more. And on the third one, he's got to take somebody, right?
On the fourth.
The fourth one.
He gets 3 free ones. Unless you get the extra innings, and then you get 1 per inning. They cannot accumulate, and you cannot carry any over.
Hall will go back to the full windup as Arsenault digs in at the plate. Here's the pitch to Doug. Pop up on the infield. Richard Morris at second base. Has it, and the inning is over. So what could have been a big inning went by the board for Willington in the third. No runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base after 3. Williamsburg, nothing, in Willington, nothing. You're listening to high school baseball on WDI, the third baseman. Brooks, Willington let a pretty good opportunity slide by then to get some runs on the board.
Well, I don't know if they let it slide by or not, but they just had a little bit of misfortune to let the opportunity slide by, really, Marianne, because they could have been in a very good position there. They could have had a runner in with runners at second and third with 2 outs, with 1 out, that is, and instead, when David Jeffcoat fell down going around second base, that they not only did they erase the base runner, but you had that out, and it really hurt the Willington's effort in the third inning there.
You got the feeling that Willington would have gotten 1 run, at least, if that had not occurred.
They would have gotten 1 run and possibly could have gotten more.
Jeff Canty struck out swinging to lead off the second inning. 1 of 2 strikeout victims of Mike Dennis tonight. Canty either plays right field or left field, depending upon who is batting. His Rankin keeps switching his outfielders back and forth. Canty backs out of the batter's box just a moment. Outfield for Willington pretty much straight away. That rain keeps kind of hanging around, raining just a tad.
But, getting less and less by the minute, really.
First pitch to Canty, breaking pitch. There, we call strike 1, nothing at 1. There's kind of a mixed crowd behind us. Just to our right, the Williamsburg people. To our left, the Willington people.
Robert Furtick right now is talking to Canty, and he's telling him that if he wants to step out of the batter's box, he's going to have to call time. You do not have to give him time in that situation. If the pitcher is ready to pitch in his motion, you do not have to give him time. And I think he just told him that, look, if you want time, you're going to have to call time, and I'm not going to give it to you again if the pitcher is in his motion.
The 0-1 pitch from Dennis. Breaking ball fouled off down the first base side. Nobody's going to get it, even though Jack Bryant is giving chase. 0-2 to count. And again, the secret to Mike Dennis tonight has been the fact that he has managed to stay ahead of the hitters.
Not only that, I think he's used the breaking ball much more than he did in previous games, and the breaking ball is working well for him tonight. His fastball is nothing wrong with the fastball either, but it seems like he may be using the breaking ball a little bit more.
No balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Nobody on. Here in the fourth, no score. Upstairs, 1-2 to count. This is it for 3A baseball tonight. This game will determine a champion. Calhoun starts their quest for a state championship on Monday. Foul ball down the third base side. Watford picked it up. Canted all the way down to first, and now he's coming back. There are just more schools in the 2A division and 1A division than in the 3A, which is why those championships are always decided, even the football, well after the 3A.
Well, the 1A schools are still playing also. There's a Mims Academy. I don't know who Mims will be playing. I saw Coach Charlie Larimore just before the game and really did not think of asking who is playing in the 1A playoffs next week with Mims.
Mims against, I'm not sure, it's either Carolina or whoever they were playing against. We really don't. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and for the second time tonight, Jeff Canty goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 3.
Nobody seems to know who their Mims are going to play next week, and that may not be decided as of yet.
Well, let's see. Bobby Hartzog was around here a moment ago, so we didn't find him.
Well, those schools still may be playing tonight.
Here's Gene Hall. Strike 1 call. 0-1 to count. I talked with Bobby back before the ball game started. He was here. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. As Canty really got fooled on a curveball as Mike ran it in on his hands, and Hall waited a long time before he pulled the trigger, and then it was much too late. 0-2. We're in the 4th after a 45-minute rain delay here on WDIX. No score. The 0-2 pitch from Dennis. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout in a row, 4th strikeout in the ball game for Mike Dennis, and they have all been of the swinging variety. And here is the third baseman, Robbie McElveen. McElveen 0 for 1 tonight. Did you bring a jacket tonight?
Yeah, I left it in the truck.
That's a good place to leave it in case you get cool. I brought mine because I remembered Monday night when it got real cool down here. Now let's see. The umpire wants
just getting a new baseball. Okay. Getting a dry baseball. The grass is just a little bit damp.
Field in excellent shape, by the way, even though we've had very little rain, as you all know, in the Orangeburg area. The field is in excellent shape tonight. First pitch to McElvain. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 5 pitches in a row that have been missed by the Williamsburg batters.
That was the Dennis breaking ball. Got that ball up a little bit high. You don't want to keep that ball up that high, the breaking ball up that high, but McElvain just didn't get it. You're talking about the field. Charlie Assey does a great job on maintaining a baseball field. He keeps water on it, and he keeps it in good playing condition.
1-1, the count to McElvain. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Well, if Dennis can fire one more, he will strike out the side here in the Williamsburg 4th.
Right now he's got McElvain guessing. He doesn't know what he's going to come with.
Swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Arsenault. He picks it up and fires to first. So Mike Dennis will strike out the side here in the Williamsburg 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. 5 strikeouts in the ball game now for Mike. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Williamsburg, nothing in Willington, nothing. You're listening to high school baseball on WDIX. Here, Marion Garrett's from Patriot Field here in Orangeburg. And for the Patriots, in the 4th, center fielder Ned Dress, pitcher Mike Dennis, and third baseman Jeffrey Watford. To face Gene Hall, who has given up no runs, 3 hits. He has struck out nobody and walked 2 through the first 3 innings of this ball game. Remember, we had a 45-minute rain delay that happened about an hour and 10 minutes ago. The game was halted. Really, it was more like a 48-minute rain delay. The game was stopped at 8:12 and restarted at 9 o'clock because of threatening skies and lightning. Ned is 1 for 1 tonight. Strike 1 call in the inside corner. Has one of the 3 Willington hits. Had a shot back up the middle to lead off the second. That little change-up. That was the same pitch that Dress drilled back up the middle last time. This time he'll pull it foul down the third base side for a no ball, 2 strike count.
He could have got that ball in territory, and McElvain would have never gotten it. Caught McElvain by surprise down there.
McElvain, well, let's say that Rankin. Now here goes Rankin to the mound. It's 2 trips to the mound now for the bank. Mark that down.
Going to change pitchers.
Got to change pitchers. Got to bring in who? Well, let's see. He's 4th, and there is no score. You hear the fans behind us. David Holliday, the new pitcher, looks in at Dress. High, ball 1. 1-2. If Dress strikes out, who gets the credit?
What was the count?
0-2.
Okay.
Hall would get the credit.
Hall gets the credit.
Curveball, strike 3 call.
Okay, here comes Dinky Rankin again. Now he's going to make the change back once again. He pitched to one batter, and that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted him to come in and get him out with the breaking ball. He did that. Now he's going to switch his outfielders once again, bring Hall back to the mound. Holiday goes back behind the plate. This long.
Does Hall get 8 warm-up pitches?
No, I don't think they can, but I don't think they won't give him a 5.
All right, Gene Hall comes back.
He's warm. I don't think they'll give him a 5.
Take the fans behind, calling him Opie because of his resemblance to the Ron Howard character of the Andy Griffith Show. Mike is 0 for 1, reached on an error, his first time up tonight. Bats from the left side. There's a ball driven out into center field. Craig Brown moves to his right, 2 away.
Not very far from that fence out there in center field either.
Mike has 7 home runs on the year, 5 of which made it over the fence. Here is Jeffrey Watford, the third baseman, who reached on a fielder's choice into second. He's 0 for 1. This turned out to be a fairly pleasant evening, weather-wise, after all the storms moved and everything shook, rattled, and rolled. Up, here we go. We're switching the right fielder and the left fielder again. You know, really, if those kids aren't good enough to play out there, what are they doing out there to begin with? And you have to wonder why this is going on. You know, left, right, left, right, left, right. Pitch to Jeffrey. Strike 1 call. You know, the thing that's going on, though, is the fact that Rankin's coaching moves are becoming the main issue of this ball game, and the Willington Ball Club can ill afford to pay attention to him. Fouled off down the first base side. Strike 2. The fans are paying a lot of attention to him.
Well, if he can break Willington's concentration by doing that, I mean, it'll be a good move on his part. I really don't think that Coach Charlie Assey will let his ball players.
Here we go to the mound again. Rankin is going back to the mound, and we're going to. It's 2 strikes on the batter, and we're going to change pitchers again. I really. You know, this is kind of a ridiculous rule for high school baseball. I want you to know that. And I just, you know, this is really, it really makes a boring ball game for all this to happen.
Well,
really does.
I have my opinions, but I would rather not care. You know,
that's my opinion, folks.
I'm not going to comment on
That's a bad rule. This is a bad rule allowed, I think. Now they're going to leave him in, I think. Okay. That's 2 trips to the mound, though. You might mark that down.
Now they're discussing the rule.
Well, they'll discuss it some more, I guess. This has been a ball game filled with controversy ever since Rankin refused to let his team come on the field way back when we could have been playing baseball. Now, at one time, I could have agreed with him. They need to keep them off because of the lightning. But I don't know. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 away here in the 4th. Watford steps to the plate. I guess good coaching. Like you said, he's doing whatever he can to get his ball club the championship, and you have to respect him for that. All looking at outside target. The pitch is out there. 1-2 the count. You have to respect the man for doing what he's doing. But it certainly is slowing down this ball game to a snail's pace. Low, 2-2 the count. Something's burning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. No score in the 4th. This is a state championship ball game. There's a ball of chopper out toward Williamson at shortstop. The long throw, yes sir, the inning is over. So Willington goes out 1, 2, 3, and the 4th after 4 complete here at Patriot Field. Williamsburg, nothing in Willington, nothing. You're listening to high school baseball on WDIA. Fifth inning here at Willington Field. Brian Burgess, the designated hitter, will lead it off with the Williamsburg Academy Stallions, followed by Craig Brown, the center fielder, and then Walt Williamson, the shortstop. And Brooks, we may have one that will literally go down to the last out of the ball game.
I think it will. You know, I said all along, I thought it was going to be a very close ball game. That it has been, and there's a lot of coaching strategy going on in this, you know, here, and it's slowed the ball game down tremendously. But I really look to see it go to the last inning.
Brian Burgess struck out swinging to lead off the Williamsburg third. No runs, 2 hits. That's what Williamsburg has through 4. Ball 1 inside.
Little slow curveball, but just a little bit low that time.
Dennis has walked 1. That was Lloyd C. Morris, and that was intentionally. He struck out 5. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 1-1 the count.
Went for 1 out of the strike zone, up around the eyes, the old high, hard one.
An error committed by each ball club. A throwing error by Ned Dress, and a fielding error committed by the Williamsburg ball club. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, 2-1 the count. And there comes a little rain again. Just a tiny little bit. Foul back. Evens the count at 2.
That one came off of Robert Purdy's face mask that time and chest protector.
4.5 innings and official ball game. As long as the home team is ahead. Takes 5 innings if the home team is not batted and is behind or tied. High, full count. First full count of the ball game for Mike Dennis. Yep, here we go. Got a conference here on full count. What else can you say to a batter besides if it's there, you got to hit it. If it's not, you know, you got to fight. You got to guard the plate, fight it off. Anything close, you got to take a shot at it. Mike Dennis looking in at Doug Arson. Oh, no, Brian Burgess calls timeout. It steps out of the batter's box. This has really come a chess game, a game of nerves here, hasn't it?
Yes, it is. And
a payoff pitch to Burgess. Pop up left side of the infield. Tristan Davis at shortstop. 1 gone. One up and 1 down in the Williamsburg 5th. And here is Craig Brown, who is 1 for 2. Had a single, sharp single back up the middle his last time up.
Seems like all the fans have returned.
Yeah, they didn't take them long to get back out here once they started playing ball again. Brown is ready. Mike Dennis is ready. Mike rocks. First pitch. Strike 1 call on the outside corner as he got that fastball to tail over the outside. And his fastball will tail away from a right-handed batter like Craig Brown. The outfield is straight away. The 0-1. Low. Evens the count at 1.
I don't think he got that pitch right into position that Doug Arsenault wanted him to get it because Doug had moved to the inside of the plate. I think he probably wanted to get it inside, get it in on his hands.
Here's the 1-1. Curveball, foul back. Had Brown fooled him. Got Brown way out front as Mike ran the curveball into the body of Craig Brown. 1-2 the count.
Good position on that curveball also. It was just right above the knees.
And when it dropped below the knees, which is why Brown only got a portion of it. Mike shakes off 1, shakes off another. Says yes to the 3rd and fires. High. That was a fastball and it missed, but it didn't miss by much. 2-2 the count. We're in the top of the 5th. 3A state championship ball game. The last game. State championship decided in the 3rd game here. No score. In the dirt. So for the 2nd batter in a row, Mike Dennis runs the count full. Again, if this game should get scrubbed here in this inning and unable to complete it, you'd have a restart here at Patriot Field on Monday night. 3 balls, 2 strikes. One out, nobody on, no score here in the Williamsburg fifth. The payoff. High, ball four. Second walk in the ball game, charged against Mike Dennis. The first one was intentional. That'll bring up Walt Williamson, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2.
After 5 innings, if I remember my rule book correctly, you should have a suspended game if it stays tied.
Well, they were talking about that earlier. Of course, at that junction, it would have been a restart.
Yeah.
The pitch, ball driven back out, up the middle, base hit. Ned Dress will run it down in center field.
Runners at first and second now with 1 out. Dennis in just a little bit of trouble now. Dinky ranking. He called Holiday over. He's going to have a little talk with him.
Third hit in the ball game. Runners at first and second. David Holiday, who has, now let's see.
He has a base hit earlier in the game. He got a base hit.
He has 2 hits. This must be the 4th hit. I missed one somewhere. Yep, that was the 4th hit in the ball game. Runners at first and second. 1 away, and a very good batter at the plate. And again, Holiday backs out just before Dennis delivers. And again, Robert Furtick gives the time. No pitch. Brown will be held on down at second by Hagler, who now leaves to run back to his position. The pitch to Holiday, swinging a foul tip. Strike 1. Ball got away from Doug Arsenault, but because it was foul tip, there was no advancement by anybody on the play. 1 out, 2 runners on, a no ball, 1 strike count. Getting exciting now. Strike 2 call. Fastball right down the heart of the plate, and I think Holiday was looking for a breaking pitch and didn't get it.
Yes, I think he was. And right now, some of the Williamsburg players may be just a little bit off stride because he's mixing the breaking ball and the fastball up pretty well tonight. Steps off of the rubber.
He will run Craig Brown back into second base. 0-2 as Holiday digs in. Bryant holding Williamson at first. Foul back. Holiday did a good job fighting that pitch off because I believe that would have been strike 3 if he had taken that one.
It was a good fastball on the outside corner, right about knee high. It was a good pitch, and he got the location that he wanted, and all Holiday could do was just fight it off. Couldn't get the bat really around on the ball.
0-2, 1 away. Pretty good gap between short and third as Watford is guarding the line at third base. Ball driven out into center field. Ned Dress goes back, makes the grab. They're going to try to double the runner at second, and they don't get him.
Fairly close play at second base. Dress got the ball in a hurry, but he didn't get it there quite time enough. And I forgot who. I don't see who was covering the bag, but they didn't come up with the ball either.
Ty Hagler covering the bag. Here's Lloyd C. Morris. They walked him. He's reached on an error, and they walked him last time up with 2 runners in scoring position. Let's see what Charlie Assey will do here. Pitch to him or walking? He has elected to pitch to Lloyd C. Morris here, I do believe.
Well, with runners at first and second, he's got a force out at first, second, or third. So it's going to. I think he'll pitch to him. If he had runners at second and third, I think you'd see him walking.
Breaking pitch in on the hands for strike 1. Good pitch then by Mike. You're right, though, Brooks. He has done a better job tonight mixing his pitches than he did on Monday night. I believe he's got the batters off stride, just a tad. Outside target. Ball driven into center field for a base hit. Ned Dress will come up with the baseball. They're going to wave the runner. Here's the play at the plate. Safe. The throw to third. Out at third base. I don't think the runner tagged the plate at home. Let's see if the run's going to count. Or did it?
Yes, the run's going to count.
All right. That will be an RBI single then for Lloyd C. Morris. And
wait a minute, we're going to have a conference down here now.
The runner did not tag the base. Nobody scored.
The runner is out at home plate. There's no appeal play in high school, as we says, and if the runner, after the play is dead, then the official will make the call. And it was called properly. And so the runner is out at home. In this situation, you've got 4 outs in the inning also.
All right, it goes this way. No runs, 2 hits, no error. The only error was the fact that the runner didn't touch the plate. No, 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Amid controversy, it is Williamsburg nothing, Willington nothing. You're listening to High School Baseball on WDIA. If you would, about a runner coming in, and then I'm going to tell you what I saw on the play, because obviously Binky Rankin, the Williamsburg Ball Club, and their fans are upset. They thought they had a lead run in the ball game then.
Okay, Marion, as far as the rule is, it's very simple. You have no appeal on a play in high school. If a runner fails to tag up, or if a runner fails to touch a base, the play continues until the ball is dead. Okay, the play came home, the runner was going to third, so the ball went immediately back to third, so the ball was still in play. The out was made down at third base, and then when the ball became dead, Robert Furtick, the home plate umpire, simply went down and made the call, because if the runner misses the base when the ball becomes dead, the out is called. The runner is called out.
All right.
That's 4 outs in this inning, by the way.
Here is Ty Hagler, the second baseman, who is 0 for 1. And let me tell you what I saw on that play in just a minute after we get this first pitch to Ty. Swing and a miss, strike 1. When the runner slid across the plate, and the runner in this case would have been Craig Brown, slid across the plate, Robert Furtick did not signal safe. He simply looked at the runner, he looked at where he slid, and he looked at the catcher. As though to say he did not touch the base. Low and outside. Ball 1. 1-1 to count. You know, he waited, because I saw him look, and I said, the runner did not touch the plate. Either the umpire would have signaled him safe there. And then the play went down. That's what happened. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He called him out for not touching home plate, or just that he did not touch home plate, therefore no run scored. Not that he called it out. A ball and 2 strikes on Hagler. He'll be followed by David Jeffcoat and Will Bryant. Now back on the screen. Count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If you get down to the technical end of it, the inning was really over when he didn't touch home plate.
But the ball had to be dead before the umpire made the call. So the play at third base didn't make any difference.
Well, it didn't really make any difference, because but once the ball, he had to wait till the ball became dead, though, until the play was over and the ball was dead.
Gene Hall looks at an inside target. Swing and a miss as Hagler chased one up in his eyes. That is strikeout number 2 in the ball game now for Gene Hall. And that'll bring up David Jeffcoat, who had a screaming shot to the power alley in left center his first time up. Got a double, slipped between second and third, and got thrown out at third base. So David is 1 for 1 tonight. Has one of the 3 Willington hits.
The maddest I ever saw Keith Griffin was a call that I made like that on third before he went to Thornwell.
When Keith was the baseball coach here at Willington. Strike 1 the call. I got 3 hits. And my book here only shows 2, but I missed one. Yep, right there. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Gene Hall humming that baseball. Gene Hall apparently stronger now than when the game started.
Yes, he looks very good out there. You know, it's amazing, Marion, as an official can sit back and he can remember all of the calls that he gets in trouble on, and he never forgets it. I reckon that's one of the ways that he learns.
I'm sorry, it's a ball and 2 strikes now. I'm sorry, I thought David had a note. There we go. 1 and 2. One of those pitches I call a strike, in fact, was not.
The rain beginning to pick up a little bit.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Right now, Gene Hall is just overpowering the runner Willington hitters.
2 strikeouts in a row, 3 in the ball game for Gene Hall. And here is Will Bryant, the designated hitter who walked his first time up tonight.
These 2 ball clubs are about as equal as you can get.
Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Here we go with the switching the outfielders once again. 2 outs with a 1 strike count on Will Bryant.
It's kind of an afterthought. Let's switch those guys around out here. Well, one must be a much better defensive outfielder than the other, and that could be taking place. A little looper back behind shortstop. Walt Williamson goes back and makes the grab right in front of Jim Wilson. So Willington will go out 1, 2, 3 here in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. After 5, Willington, nothing, Williamsburg, nothing. You're listening to High School Baseball on WDIA. Make that the top of the 6th inning, and for Williamsburg, Richard Morris, the second baseman, will lead it off, followed by Jeff Canty, the right fielder, and Gene Hall, the pitcher. We're talking to Robert Furtick, the home plate umpire, between that half inning, and he said that Craig Brown told him after the play, he said, "I did not touch the base."
Well, you know, that's...
And he said you have to admire a kid who will admit that a run that very well could have, could win the ball game, or could have won the ball game, and he admitted that he did not tag the base. Morris is 0 for 2, popped out and grounded out in 2 previous appearances tonight. Rain beginning to fall again here, ever so slight, but ever so slight. A little bit harder than before. Outfield straight away is Watford guarding that line down at third base to try to cut down on the extra base hit. First pitch from Mike is up high for ball 1. Breaking pitch. That's a fastball. I'm sorry. Swing and a miss. We're leaving the count at 1. One ball, 1 strike. Nobody out and nobody on here in the 6th. It's a scoreless ball game. Curveball a little bit low. 2-1 to count.
May have broke just a little bit inside also. Folks might not like it, but we go put this umbrella.
Umbrella got to come back up. I can't get wet anymore. I've been wet enough here tonight. All right, 2-1 to count is Dennis Wheels. Strike 2. Fastball at the knees. We're leaving the count at 2 apiece. Two-2 pitch on the way, fouled off. Down the right field side, out of play. Binky Rankin coaching down at third, and he'll get a crowd into a ball game whether the crowd wants to get there or not, won't he?
He has a good following also. He has a crowd to get in, and he has a following to get into the game. Let's put it like that.
Got to hand it to the Williamsburg folks. A lot of folks from Kingstree have come over here for the second day this week. High chopper. Dennis off the mound on to Bryant, 1 gone.
Good play by Mike Dennis that time. He really came off of the mound and went back and fielded that ball. And a pitcher, it is necessary for him to be able to field his position, and he fielded his position real well that time, because whenever he came off being the left-handed batter, he falls toward third. The ball was bounced over to the right, to the first base side of the bag, so he had to turn and go back behind the mound to field that ball.
Here's Jeff Canty. He struck out twice, popped up out of play, back behind the first base dugout for strike 1. Rain probably coming down as hard now as it has come down tonight. We're in the 6th inning. There is no score. Williamsburg could have had one, but Craig Brown forgot to tag the plate when he slid by. Then again, give Doug Arsenault some credit, because Arsenault was there causing Brown to change his path of running.
Well, Arsenault, he just positioned himself, right over the front corner of the plate. And he gave him some of the plate, but he just didn't get it.
High and away, 1-1 to count. See the strain on some of the faces of the coaches. Rankin, who keeps the strain off of his face, or tries to handle it by moving players around, always walking up and down, always coaching. Ashley will sit down a lot of times when his team is in the field on defense and study. And that's what Charlie's doing right now. In the dirt, back off the screen. 2-1 the count. Mike looks in at Arsenault. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Canty. Popped up, out of play, right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. The Williamsburg Stallions out of Kingstree. Really, I feel one of the up-and-coming athletic powers among the independent schools in South Carolina.
They have a very good group of young men out there on the field. 9 sophomores, 6 juniors, no seniors on the ball club.
2-2 pitch is high. They'll have a fine football program. this coming year, and I believe I looked at the schedule again today, and I think Orangeburg Prep will go to Kingsbury to play Williamsburg. That should be a titanic battle down there.
Should be a very good ball game.
Spring practice begins on Monday for Orangeburg Prep. Actually, it's not going to really hit. They're just going to run, I think, some in shorts and kind of look at the personnel that's available for next year to help the coaching staff determine where they might like to position some folks in August.
Also, I think they'll be looking at numbers.
Fouled off. They claim they're going to dress everybody who comes out, which was about 60 people who showed interest a few months ago. That's a lot of folks who are putting pads and helmets.
Especially at the price of pads and helmets today.
That's right. That is, of course, they have the equipment between
the two schools.
The consolidation. Payoff pitch to Canty. Ball driven out in the center field. Fly ball, mid-dress, moving to his right. 2 gone. 2 up and 2 down at the Williamsburg 6. And here is Gene Hall, the pitcher, who's grounded to first and struck out in his 2 previous plate appearances tonight. No runs, 5 hits for Williamsburg. The pitch, foul back on the screen, strike 1. Way to go, Brooks, hang in there. Again tonight, Willington having a problem hitting the ball. They only have 3 hits to show for their first 5 innings work. Nothing in 1 now to count on Gene Hall. Strike 2 call, fastball. Hall looking for the breaking pitch on the inside. Instead, he got the fastball that tailed away. 0-2.
Come back with the fastball once again. I'm sure he's looking for the breaking ball.
He did get the fastball, too. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as that was way outside. As a matter of fact, Arsenault could not knock it down. Rolled all the way to the backstop. Gene Hall is now choked up 2.5 to 3 inches on that piece of aluminum.
Come back with the high fastball on the inside now and get it right off of his fist. You might strike him out.
Breaking pitch, and he got him anyway. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Williamsburg, nothing. Willington, nothing. Still listening to high school baseball at WDIX. Big order for Tristan Davis, the shortstop, Jack Bryant, the first baseman, and Doug Arsenault, the catcher. This 3A state championship baseball game for independent schools being brought to you tonight on Central South Carolina Sports Leader, 1150 WDIX Orangeburg, along with Brooks Hare, Marion Garrett from Patriot Field here in Orangeburg. Davis tonight 1 for 1 with a walk. Had a base hit his last time up. Part of the batting order you would expect to produce for Willington. Only 3 hits by the Patriots again tonight. They only got 3 on Wednesday against Gene Hall. Swing and a miss by Tristan, strike 1. Nothing and 1 as McElveen on the grass at third. Morris in close at first. Rankin likes to put pressure on the batters by bringing his corners up tight. 0-2 as Tristan tried to lay down a bunt and fouled it back on the screen. Nothing and 2 the count. Tristan digs in. Hall is set. Here's the 0-2. Fly ball, right side. Foul territory, out of play. Count will remain. No balls. And 2 strikes. You know, these guys got to have a lot of tension on them right here. These young men.
The coaches have a lot of tension on them. And, you know, it doesn't make any difference how many times, like, for instance, Charlie, he's won the state championship before. He's still got a lot of pressure on him.
There's always that thrill of winning another, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Hall looking in at David Holliday, his catcher. The 0-2 way outside. Ball and 2 strikes now. We have failed to comment about the hats that Willington wears, baseball hats. Those old-timey hats with the white circles around, white bands, kind of like Pittsburgh Pirates wore several years ago. I like those saves. Different. In the dirt, 2-2 the count. Gene Hall simply tried to overthrow a fastball then and just threw it straight into the dirt in front of the plate. 2-2 the count.
Somebody needs base runners.
Everybody needs base runners in this ball game, but Willington has not had as many as Charlie Assey would have liked to have had tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good pitch that time by Gene Hall, and for Gene, that is strikeout number 4 in the ball game. They have all been of the swinging variety. And that'll bring up Jack Bryant, who is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Sacrificed his last time up to move Tristan Davis down to second base. No, not switching it. Wait a minute. I'm going to switch outfielders here.
Just moving his outfielders around a little bit. He's moving the left fielder over to the line a little bit. He evidently feels like Bryant is not going to be able to pull the ball and go hit the ball into left field.
Strike 1 call as a fastball will grab the inside corner as it comes by. 0-1.
And you would think with moving his outfielder toward the line, you would pitch outside.
Jack tried to lay it down, fouled it back. 0-2. Tried to dump it down the third base line toward McElveen. Actually, the best place to dump this is down the first base line because Morris at first is playing back further than McElveen is at third.
Make Hall field the ball, but then you don't have a long throw like you do from third.
Or actually dump the ball just to the left side, to the shortstop side of the pitcher's mound because the right-handed pitcher is falling away toward first. 0-2 pitch on the way, high and away, 1-2 to count. Right?
The idea of this is to push the ball, if you were going to run it to the third base side, to push it past the pitcher where the third baseman can't get it. Make the shortstop field it. It would have to be a pretty hard bunt.
Let up pitch. Little looper back behind first base. Back goes Richard Morris. Drops the ball. That's going to be an error on Richard Morris. Second error in the ball game.
I think probably you will. With Arsenault, and then it's hard to say whether you see Arsenault sacrifice not, but I would say probably Arsenault will sacrifice in this situation with being in the 6th inning.
Well, he's got Ned Dress. We'll follow Arsenault, and Dress has 1 of the 3 hits tonight. Davis has 1, Dress has 1, and David Jeffcoat has the other. Willington has not had a hit since the 3rd inning.
Arsenault and Charlie Assey having a little discussion there.
Little say down the third base line. McElveen again down on the grass at third base. Morris will hold Jack Bryant at first. I don't know what kind of speed Bryant has or whether or not Charlie would even send him in this situation. And almost bet Hall is going to first base right here. His Jack has about a 10-foot lead over there. Outside, good stop by David Holliday. Almost got that runner up into scoring position.
If you're going to bunt the ball right now, you only want to bunt strikes. Here's a move to first.
Like we talked on Wednesday, they wait until there's a 2-ball count to send the runner, if they get a 2-ball count here. Another move to first, and again, Jack Bryant is back. Jack not even far enough off to have to go back in head first. He simply runs back into the bag. Snap move, and again, Jack is back. Arsenault trying to keep that bat handle and the bat barrel as dry as possible. There's a ball driven out into left field. Jim Wilson will make the grab. Actually, I believe that's Jeff Canty who made the grab out in left field. Arsenault hit it hard. 2 away, and here's Ned Dress. 1-4-2 tonight. Took a call third strike his last time up.
Arsenault hit the ball hard, but he hit it right at Canty out in left field. The ball did tail just a little bit as it was slicing a little toward the line. Canty came up with it very easily.
Here is Dress with 2 gone in the 6th inning. No score. Move to first. Bryant back again. Do you put the ball down? Does it look bad now because you didn't get the runner up?
Well, not necessarily.
High and away, ball one. Well, you got your three best hitters in a row coming up, and I guess you figure when one of them's overdue, I don't really second-guess Charlie on that. I don't think I'd have had him bunted either. Because then you're putting all your eggs in one basket. You really are putting a lot of pressure on one man to deliver.
I think probably there's a possibility you could see a pitch out, a semi-pitch out right here if you could call such a thing.
Strike one call. Fastball will nip the inside corner. 1-1.
Now, you went for him that time. We got a 1-1 count. I think possibility you'll see a pitching change right short leg again.
Another move to first, and again, Jack Bryant is back in plenty of time. Gene Hall will walk around, rub up the baseball just a little bit off the mound. Rain continuing to fall here. Ball will get away from Holiday, and down to second base goes Bryant, but Bryant gets a stolen base. He really tried that little let up, and I don't understand why he threw it in that particular position. Holiday would not have stood a chance to throw Bryant out. Willington now 1 for 2 in a stolen base department. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Ned Dress, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position at second base. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And that time Ned goes for the high, hard one inside. And here we go, Rankin coming to the mound, and we're going to have a pitching change again.
I don't quite understand the strategy, but anyway, evidently he feels that with the 2-strike counts,
to make the batter look at a different pitcher?
The Holiday, mainly a breaking ball pitcher, has an advantage, but I don't really understand why, because Hall has been very effective with it.
Unless it's broken, that's
Yeah.
right. By the way, that is an unearned run.
But it makes you wonder, this is the second time that they brought Holiday in with a 2-strike count. Maybe when that type of strategy was going to backfire, and it did. He's coming in, and sooner or later he's coming in. He's really not warm with 8 pitches, and so.
And he serves up a breaking ball to what may be the best hitter on the Willington Ball Club, and he just nailed it.
Yeah, and he maybe hung it up just a little bit, and whenever you do that, you're going to hit it. And so.
It is 1-0, Willington. That is only the 4th Patriot hit in the ball game. The 4th hit, and the run is unearned because the runner who scored, Jack Bryant, reached on an error, and they just gave Mike Dennis a freebie. Here is Jeffrey Watford, who is 0 for 2. Of course, it's always easy to second-guess a coach or anybody else, and hindsight is always 20/20. But as you said, Gene Hall was pitching too well to pull him out, in my opinion. He was pitching better the last couple of innings than he did before.
Well, I thought he was also, and now we're going to
switch him back again.
Switch him back again. And if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Right now, Dennis has a 1-run lead to work with going into.
There is a courtesy runner, Nico Generis.
He's an eligible substitute, so he is an eligible substitute.
Jeffrey Watford is the young man who's at the plate. He was still 0 for 2. Doesn't make much difference about that. The 0 for 2 part. There's so much going on other than the ball game.
Well, I know what he's arguing. He's arguing that nobody was told that the substitute was coming in, and trying to get an illegal substitute call there.
There's a ball smashed by Watford out in the power alley in left field. That will turn Wilson around, but this time Wilson will run it down. So here we go, folks, as we go down to the 7th inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 runners left on base. After 6, Willington 1, Williamsburg nothing. You're listening to High School Baseball on WDIX.
You'll love the selection of gifts for
Ryan Burgess. the designated hitter, and Craig Brown, the center fielder, to face Mike Dennis, who has given up no runs, 5 hits. He has struck out 6, walked 2, one of those intentionally. His teammates have committed 1 error. It was an error on the part of the Williamsburg second baseman that opened the door for Willington in the bottom of the 6th inning as they pushed across 1 unearned run. The pitch to McElvain, strike 1 call. McElvain is 0 for 2. He struck out and popped out in foul territory to first baseman Jack Bryant.
That run, earned or unearned, doesn't make any difference. It crossed the plate, and it counts. And it's just so many times that, that type of thing happens to make a ball club lose.
Foul tip back on the screen, 0-2 the count. Mike Dennis just 3 outs away from his 14th win of the year, and none would probably be any bigger, including the 2 no-hitters he had this year in the state championship game. And for Willington, it will be their 5th this year if they can hang on, and their 4th in 2 weeks. Their 4th spring sport. They won boys and girls track. They won the golf. And if they can hang on for 3 outs here in the 7th, they'll win the baseball. Fouled off, out of play, right side. So Robbie McElvain remains alive. Mike Dennis looks in at his catcher, Doug Arsenault, and rocks. Here it is. 1 hopper down to Watford at third, to Bryant, 1 gone.
One of the toughest outs to get in a ball game was the first out of that last inning.
And there it was, 1 great big Sunday hop down to Jeffrey at third, who whipped it over to first. 1 gone, and here's Brian Burgess, the designated hitter, who has struck out and popped out. He's 0 for 2 today.
Seems like there's 1 out that's always harder to get than that one, and that's the last one.
The last out in the ball game, boy, and a tight one in particular. It is really tough to get. Mike Dennis looks in. Inside, ball 1. 1-0 the count. The fans here at Willington now anticipating the state championship, and we certainly do expect an eruption of noise if they hang on to win, and emotion as far as that goes. Inside, 2-0. Mike Dennis does not want to put the tying run on first base right now via a walk.
Now, you don't want to put a runner on base any kind of way now, but the baseball probably is getting just a little bit slick. It's been drizzling rain, so I'm sure that most of the baseballs in the ball bag there are a little bit damp.
Chopper out toward Tristan Davis at short, will bounce over his head for a base hit. A bad hop single.
Tristan laid back on that ball and tried to take it on the big hop, and it did. He had the big hop right over his head.
6 base hits tonight for Williamsburg. They have no runs to show, but now they get back to the top of their batting order, and here is Craig Brown, the very fine center fielder. Craig tonight, 1 for 2 with a walk. He is the young man who forgot to tag the base in the 5th inning when he slid home and admitted it to the home plate umpire. Courtesy runner being put into the ball game now for Brian Burgess.
His name is Brown also. Doug Arsenault down behind home plate, getting a little dirt and trying to rub up that baseball. Or rub up one of the baseballs.
Watching Tristan then, and not to criticize, but it was a bounder, and Tristan chose to lay back rather than charge the baseball and try to get it on the in-between hop, and it hit a piece of loose dirt and simply sprung over his head. May have been a pretty close play down at first, even if he had fielded the ball, because it was just a couple of looping hops out there, and the kind that you really got to have a gun for an arm to throw somebody out.
I think probably he could have charged the ball and got it on a good hop. Instead, he laid back and tried to take it on, take it on the second hop, which it bounced over his head.
Strike 1 call to Craig Brown. Charlie Assey will take a trip to the mound. Charlie's first trip out there tonight.
Coach Rankin didn't think too much of the call that time. He's asking him where the pitch was.
It was a letter-high fastball, and that's still in the strike zone, was it not?
Yeah. Getting late in the ball game, it's all very understandable because everybody wants this extremely bad. We're talking about pressures on the, on the players and on the coaches and stuff. Those umpires, they have a little pressure on them also.
Yep. Breaking pitch hangs in his eyes. 1-1 the count. You don't want to hang that pitch up too much. A good hitter will lose it for you. One and one gone, one runner on. Willington leads 1-0 inside. 2-1 the count. As the fastball missed, tried to run it in on his fist and got it in too far. 2-1 the count. Two out, overhead.
Even Mike Dennis might be feeling the pressure right now.
I'm certain he is. He's never pitched for a state championship either. A lot of firsts here tonight. A lot of firsts. Craig Brown outside, loosening up. Puts 1 foot into the batter's box, looks down at Dinky Rankin and brings a front foot in. The 2-1 breaking pitch hangs high. 3-1 the count.
Arsenault is telling Dennis now to come overhand. You're dropping down to the side. Get the arm back up.
Mike does not need to walk this man because then they're going to get down into some of the big hitters here shortly.
Dennis is a little bit tired. When you see that arm start dropping down, you can tell that he's tired. It's a good pitch that time, but Brown had called time.
3-1 the count. 1 out, 1 runner on. Willington leads it 1-0 here in the 7th inning. Ball 4.
1 out, runners in first and second now, so Arsenault, he goes out to have a little, well, he goes out on the edge of the grass, has a word or two to say with Dennis, and I know what he's telling him. He's telling him just to calm down, come over the top of with the pitch.
3rd walk tonight. 1 was intentional. Runners at first and second base. 1 away. Here is Walt Williamson, who is 1 for 3. He is the young man who got the base hit that looked to apparently drive in a go-ahead run for Williamsburg back in the 5th. There's a line drive, base hit. Mid-dress runs it down. That dress lets the ball get by him. We're going to be tied at 1, and Williamsburg will have runners on the corners.
Got the pitch up just a little bit. I believe this is a breaking ball, and he got it up, and he just...
No RBI because an error allowed the runner to score them.
The runners at first and second on the base hit. I think you're going to have to give him the RBI.
The runner would have not scored, I don't think. Doesn't make any difference. It's a 1-1 ball game. I don't give him the RBI because I don't think the runner would have scored. He was holding the runner up. The ball got by.
I didn't see it. I didn't see him hold it. If he held the runner up, he was holding the runner up. No, it would not have been an RBI. Dennis got the breaking ball up just a little bit that time, and it was outside, and he just went with it and hit it out into right field. Or the right center field.
They will now have to wait and see whether that run is earned, depending upon whether or not any more come across the plate.
1 out here, there's a lot of possibilities. You got Holliday at the plate, one of the better hitters on the ball club, and one of the hitters that Charlie Ashley probably is as much afraid of as anybody on the ball club.
He is 2 for 3 tonight.
And
here's David Holliday. The infield is pulled in halfway. Willington does not want anybody else to get in, and Doug Arsenault wants the time.
The infield pulled in. You've got a possibility of squeeze. It makes a 300 hitter out of a 200 hitter with that infield pulled in.
Odds now in favor of Williamsburg with a part of the batting order that's coming up here. Strike 1 call in the outside corner as Mike Dennis brings the heat. And this is where Mike Dennis is really going to have to bear down, right here.
Yes, he is. He's going to really have to bear down, and he's going to have to throw the fastball or whatever pitch. He's going to have to keep it down on the knees, make him hit the ball on the ground.
Oh, he got David Holliday to chase a bad pitch. Nothing in through the count.
It was a good pitch, though, because it was the fastball, and it was down. And it was outside.
It was not a good pitch to swing at. Rankin is down, talking with David Holliday, saying, David,
Just calming him down.
right, just be yourself. Rain continues to fall here.
This could last all night.
Yes, it could. Outside target, the pitch. Upstairs, 1-2.
But the 0-2 pitch brought the fastball up high.
Here's where you have to watch the little things. No wild pitches, no pass balls. You really don't want to think about anything like that because then you start worrying about if you're going to do them. David Holliday calls timeout just as Dennis gets to the stretch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Retired at 1, Williamsburg with runners on the corners. Ball driven out into center field. Ned Dress goes back. He makes the grab. They're going to send the runner from third base, and Williamsburg leads 2-1.
Brown stopped and passed home plate that time.
Now the first run is earned. We'll have to wait and see whether or not the second run is earned. Two away, and here's Lloyd C. Morris. And now it is a 2-1 ball game. Williamsburg on top. Morris tonight is 1 for 1. He's been walked twice. Inside, ball 1. Outside. 2-0. 7th hit. That's not a hit, though. 6 hits in the ball game for Williamsburg. And another offensive conference.
Well, Arsenault went out to the mound. So that's a defensive timeout. He's having a little talk out there with Dennis. Arsenault was a little bit upset with that last pitch that Dennis threw. He didn't get the location or anything that he wanted.
2 balls, no strikes. Inside, ball 3. First time tonight, Mike has fallen behind any hitter, 3-0. Of course, he can afford to pitch carefully to this guy. This guy can make it a 4-1 ball game with 1 swing of the bat to get one in his wheelhouse. Right 1 call outside corner, 3-1 now. 2 hits and an error have produced 2 runs for Williamsburg here in the 7th. Strike 2. Full count. On the pitch, Williamson will be breaking at first base. The stretch. There goes the runner, the pitch, outside, ball 4. That is the 2nd walk in the inning. That is the 4th walk in the ball game. And here is Richard Morris, the second baseman, 0 for 3 tonight. The situation has turned negative here on the Willington in the 7th inning, but they did that over here on Monday night. Willington came back the next inning to get a bunch. Upstairs, 1-0. Charlie Assey out of the dugout to make his 2nd trip out to the mound.
Arsenault is going to the mound. Dennis just give out a gas.
Jack Bryant will go behind the plate. Doug Arsenault will go to the mound. Mike Dennis will go to first base. One at the moment is earned. The other may be unearned, depending upon what this batter does. Time called by Richard Morris. Down at second base is Walt Williamson. Down at first is Lloyd C. Morris. Are we having some more?
Inky Rankin asking home plate umpire a question. Exactly what, I don't know.
The shirt tail is out. Arsenault shirt tail is out. Right?
Yeah.
I saw it. I knew. I knew what it was, man. The pitcher cannot have his shirt tail out. Doug Arsenault toes the rubber and leans in toward Richard Morris, looking at a sign from Jack Bryant. Doug is set. The pitch. High, ball one. Pretty good looking pitch. Ball two, I'm sorry, 2-0 to count. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Williamsburg 2 and Willington 1 as the Stallions have parlayed a couple of runs here in the 11th hour. Swing and a miss. 2-1 to count.
Went for one outside the strike zone that time.
Got some folks watching this from the bleachers. From the football stands, in addition to the press box back there. The stretch. The 2-1. Grounder out towards John Hager at second base. Tie goes to Mike Dennis and the inning is over. But for Williamsburg here in the 7th, 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 runners left on base, 1 run is unearned. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is now Williamsburg 2, Willington 1. You're listening to Nico Generis will lead it off. He is 1 for 2 in this series. Had a pinch hit here on Monday night that started that 5-run rally for the Pats in the 6th inning.
Gene Hall looked at him Wednesday down at Kingstree and struck him out.
Struck him out, yes he did.
He just got down and threw fastballs.
Nico only 4-9, but he got a base hit. Got a base hit here on Monday night. McElveen on the grass at third. Morris pinching in down at first. The outfield is shallow for the young man. That's from the left side. Digs in. Now steps out of the batter's box. Now, Hall goes to the rubber. Generis to the batter's box. First pitch. Low, ball 1. Right now, Willington wants to get that tying runner on base somewhere. Strike 1 call. 1-1 to count as the fastball gets the inside corner. That's upstairs. 2-1 to count. It is nail-biting time on the third base side of this ballpark. That's where most of the Willington fans are. 3-1. Way upstairs. That was literally a head-high breaking pitch then. 3-1 to count. Hall has walked only 2 batters tonight. Make it 3. As Generis does his job, he gets to BB, the base on ball, and cuts down to first. Here's David Jeffcoat, who launched a big double, what should have been a triple if he had not tripped and fallen coming around the bag at second base. That occurred back in the 3rd inning. Lloyd C. Morris will hold young Generis on at first base. I'm wondering if we were not going to get a courtesy runner, but obviously, well, let's see if we are.
He's going to have a timeout, and he's going to talk with Generis, tell him what he would like for him to do, tell him what play he has on. I don't think with Jeffcoat, really, I don't think you'll see the sacrifice with
David?
With David,
Let's
no.
see, David tonight is 1 for 2. He struck out swinging in the 5th inning. But he does have the ability to hit the ball and to hit the long ball. But then again, you're not playing for the long ball right now. You're playing for 1 run to tie this game up. The rain continuing to fall. Willington on the short end of a 2-1 score here in the bottom of the 7th. A runner at first. Nobody out. McElveen on the grass at third base. The stretch. David squares to bunt and takes it for call strike 1. Tell you what, third base drawn in like that, you might just want to try to drill it down McElveen's throat up. Throw to first. Morris comes down with it. You know, we've not had a ball thrown by the first baseman in this series.
Now, these 2 ball clubs, they're pretty good. They're a good defensive ball club.
Another move to first, and again, Nico is back in time. The stretch. David butts it right out in front of the bound. The throw to first in time, but the sacrifice is successful. Is Daenerys, moves down to second base, and now represents the tying run in this ball game. That was a 1-3 sacrifice. One away. Here is Will Bryant, who is 0 for 1 with a walk tonight.
Need the base hit right now to score the run. The outfield is playing fairly deep, so basically anything hit on the ground that could go through the infield would score the run. Anything hit on the ground to the right side, I think you'll see the runner moving immediately, but the runner has instructions to hold on anything hit on the ground on the left side.
The stretch, the pitch. There's a ball slapped deep down the left side. Back, back, back. It is up against the wall. It's a home run. It is a home run. Will Bryant knocks one out to win. I thought he circled his hand like a home run. It is obviously not a home run then.
I thought the ball hit the fence.
I did too, but I thought he did his hand like a circle the bases. But the game is tied at 2 apiece. Bryant just unloaded on one.
They're going out there now to...
But I thought the umpire gave the circle motion with his hands, didn't he?
Yeah, he gave the circle motion,
he gave
but
the
I really
home run signal, but I thought the ball went off the wall, too. It doesn't make any difference. We got a tied ball game at the minute. I'm sorry if I excited anybody too much, but I looked at the umpire, and he gave the circle like it's a home run.
I really don't think it was a home run because the ball, to me, hit on the base. It hit at the base of the fence. It was hit right at the foul pole, and that ball was hit just about 300 feet, Marion, because that's what it is down the lines, and it hit right at the base of the fence. I thought maybe he had
to give him a triple, or
maybe he thought the ball hit the foul pole above the fence. If it did, it's a home run.
He might have, because you look at the other players; they're doing the same thing. They gave the circle sign, and the Willington bench just erupted when Will slapped that baseball down there. I'm just going to give him a triple. They said, no home run now, right?
Yeah, I think everybody down there saw it, and they saw it. What really got them excited was the tying run, coming across the plate. Really, we've got one out with a runner on third, so you can probably look for Tristan to do something to try to get that runner across the plate.
I'm sorry I yelled home run, but I swear I saw the umpire give the circle.
He did. He was going down the line, circling with his hand circling over his head. So I thought it was a home run, but I thought there was a home run signal, but I thought I saw the ball hit it.